The first locomotive ever acquired by the National Railroad Museum could be on track to come back to Ashwaubenon.
But not without some cost controversy. Fox 11's Luke Hillman has our balanced coverage.
It was the first and for a time only piece of train equipment you could see at the National Railroad Museum. Milwaukee Road steam engine 261 arrived in Ashwaubenon in the winter of 1958.
The 261 is a special piece from that way, being the first one here at the museum.
But for nearly 2 decades, the engine has been out touring the Midwest, generating revenue for the museum and another nonprofit called the Friends of 261. It's a Minneapolis-based organization that offers steam train rides. The National Railroad Museum agreed to lease 261 to the group in 1991, but that agreement effectively came to an end this week.
We're disappointed because we did want to see the locomotive keep running, and we are actively talking with other parties who may be interested.
Bob Lettenberger says the lease has only been a modest source of income for the museum, but museum officials declined to release the exact terms to Fox 11. Only saying it's been the same amount since 1991 and that the museum is now asking for a minimal increase. The Friends of 261 did release the figures, arguing it is not a minimal increase. The organization says it's paid $10,000 per year for the engine. The group's president says the Railroad Museum initially wanted to increase the lease to $50,000, but then negotiated down to about $25,000 per year. The group's also unhappy because it says the museum would only offer a 10-year lease, even though it would have to pay the entire cost, an estimated $500,000, for an inspection that's required every 15 years on a steam engine.
The increase in rent, along with the term of the agreement, were something that we just really, our organization could not afford. The sentiment of the museum has drastically changed to, you're not paying us enough money, we want more.
The museum argues the amount is fair and long overdue. But Lettenberger says money is not the motivating factor.
For us, it has been more so important to have it out there and have it as an educational tool.
The Friends of 261 must now return the engine back to the museum. The museum is looking for someone who will keep it on the tracks. In Ashwaubenon, Lou Hillman, Fox 11 News.
It is unknown when the steam engine will be returned to Wisconsin. It's currently in Minneapolis, partially torn apart. The Friends of 261 was preparing to put it through inspection before deciding to end the agreement. If the Railroad Museum can't find someone to lease the engine, it would be put on display in Ashwaubenon.